The artifact that I analyzed was Google's A Year in Search 2019, and the lens that I used to analyze this was the fantasy theme. So what the fantasy theme does is it looks at the group perception, specifically in social movements or things like that, but through Google's Year in Search 2019, they outline what would be considered symbolic cues according to the fantasy theme. And what symbolic cues are there words or symbols that are representative of the group. So specifically in Google's Year in Search 2019, the word that they highlighted was the word hero, saying that the world experienced a surge in searches for the word hero and everyday acts of heroism. So through the fantasy theme, you can interpret that the mentality in 2019 was a search for heroism, and whether that be because of the context of the world and the need for a hero that you see in popular culture, things like that, people wanted that act of heroism. The ad shows how this can be accomplished in reality and people experience in everyday life, such as Olympic medalists acting out stunts that have never been performed, or firefighters saving people in natural disasters, or things like that, showing how there are everyday acts of heroism and that there's hope in the world. That search is a mentality that the entire world experienced in 2019. So through the fantasy theme, it's showing how the group perspective is defined by the experience of wanting a hero. This persuasive strategy, by showing and actually giving the example of the group mentality and the search for heroism, it triggers people into wanting to contribute to that theme, and they participate either in acts of heroism, or in Google's case, it persuades them to actually use the search engine so they can become part of that group mentality. How I will use this theme in the future, especially in everyday life, the fantasy theme is really important when it comes to things like social movements and social change. And if social change is going to happen, and it requires the coming together of a large group of people, and through using the fantasy theme, you can learn how to look at groups and define them through symbolic cues and things that matter to them, to groups, and find that common ground that will allow you to make change and inspire people to want to be part of that change. So in order to construct persuasive messages, you just have to look at the group mentality around that and what would be inspirational, and in turn you can then take those and create an effective persuasive message that will get your point across while also inspiring people to take action. Thanks.